Me.
You're on, sir.
Hmm?
You're on.
I'm not on. What's going on? They're not rolling again?
You're on.
Huh?
You're on.
Oh, really? Hey, are you serious? All right. Hey, welcome to the U.S. Carburation Clinic. I am Dr. Hew. Glad to have you back this week. Where were we last week? Oh, man, who wants to talk about it? We had thunderstorms, internet glitches, we had all kinds of issues. But we're glad to be back for our show this week. And as you can see, it's Thursday. Well, you probably can't see it, but you know it's there. And so from now on, we'll be on once a week on Thursday, because twice a week, we'll put you in the hospital if you're not used to it. So again, please remember to like us on Facebook and YouTube, because it really helps out with our getting the message out about carburation, how good it is for the environment and for people's machines. It's just like, Motor Snorkel saves the life of a gasoline engine. It absolutely does. It's been proven, and we have the proof in our own showroom. So again, welcome to I always feel like you want to hold that up. U.S. Carburation. What are we calling this thing? Carburation Clinic, thank you. All right, so we did the Facebook thing, we did the YouTube thing. This week, I guess it's kind of a serious week. It's Tropical Storm Sandy is wreaking havoc today. And it's always sad for us. I mean, we love helping people, but by the same token, we have family and friends all over the country. And so for us too, it's a heartbreaker when a storm is going to hit an area and cause disruption of lives. And we were talking about before the show, how many weeks we are into the hurricane season. We're like 3 weeks in, right? And then we started talking about it, and this company, a lot of times we're affected heavily by storms, because even right now, people are ordering next day air and that kind of thing, try to get their systems and parts to them in time to help them get back, have some power while the power lines are down. But what's amazing is we didn't realize that hurricane season is 6 months out of the year. Half the year is hurricane season. So that's pretty heavy duty. And typically they don't kick in until after August, but when 3 of them are already out the gate, what do we have so far? We had Arlene, and what was the other one, Brent? So anyway, enough pontificating. We'll start the show, of course, with Debunk the Junk. And I remember way back 20-some years ago when I was with the gas company, somebody sued one of the major suppliers because their house exploded on propane. And it made the news, of course, because, I remember it says, city rocked by propane explosion. Well, the lawsuit went through, and it was about, is propane explosive? And propane is not explosive. It was proven in court. And it is laws of physics, and you can look it up, do the research. Trust us, propane is not explosive. However, it is highly flammable. That's why we use it in our engines instead of water, because water is not flammable. So what is it then? Well, it's highly flammable, but if confined to a space with the right air-fuel mixture, it can create an explosion-type reaction. For instance, and it's not just propane, gasoline, those kind of things that cause buildings to blow. It's you've heard of grain elevators. They've blown up because of grain dust. Steel companies are very concerned about dust from steel, and of course coal dust, all those things. So when it comes to being explosive, it all has to do with the environment. Like with propane, it'll settle to the floor and it won't ignite unless it reaches the correct air-fuel mixture in the area. So here's a truism. Saw a picture once where they had a broken gas line in the ground, natural gas line, huge steel gas line, underground with a leak. They dug all around the leak, and the gas was still on, running. They sent a professional welder down into the crater, and while the gas is pouring out, he's welding the pipe to seal the leak. Now that sounds insane, but limits of flammability. Needless to say, you can't run through a firecracker company with a torch and expect nothing to happen, because we know TNT and gunpowder is explosive. It can blow up underwater, whatever. So anyway, debunk the junk. You see all these and it's a technical thing. YouTube and stuff, you see, oh, propane explosion. There's blevies. Somebody say, oh yeah, but what about blevies? Those are very technical, but it's just like shooting a propane tank. You can't get a propane tank to explode by shooting it, so don't even bother watching the video. You'll just see them, if they can penetrate the steel, all you'll see is fuel leaking out, and if they ignite it, then that's different. But anyway, all right, so, we have an example of that. What about now the other week we did the propane, we showed the propane, how propane looks. If you haven't seen that video, it's kind of cool. You can actually see real propane live. But afterward, we're playing around. We have natural gas here, so I blew up some natural gas balloons, and we were igniting them. They're kind of fun. I wouldn't recommend that at home, of course, and none of this stuff anyone should do at home except for changing their engines to propane or natural gas. Then afterwards, I did one because a natural gas balloon will float, because natural gas is lighter than air. So then I showed them how I filled one with propane, and you're like on the moon. It would you'd hit it and it just, it'd want to sink down. But if you hit it up, it would take off, but it always wanted to come back to the ground. Well, when we were done with that, we thought, what are we going to do with this balloon, And so we wanted to, I said, hey, here's a good example of how propane is not explosive. So once you run that tape, let's see what that looked like. It's kind of cute.
This balloon is filled with propane.
Here we are. That's a torch, by the way. Long distance. Oof. Now you've seen what happened. It didn't explode, but it was a fireball, because as the proper air mixed with the fuel properly, it created the combustion in that area. But the balloon did not go sideways. It just went woof.
Show it again.
Oh, let's show it again. It's so awesome. Is there audio with that, or do I need to do the audio? All right, like I said, we have a long stick, 20 feet long. Company employees' cars back there we can care less about. So, but watch, see how it went up? So, and propane is heavier than air. So, anyway, don't do that. We're trained professionals, so don't do that. We're not trained in balloonism or balloonology, or I don't know any other terms that would be called. But all right, so where are we on to next, Mr. Producer? Clipboard, or are we going RV? We are going RV this week. This is RV time. People are out and about. So why is Motor Snorkel great for an RV? RV, Motor Snorkel reasons. Okay, so reasons why Motor Snorkel is a great, we're doing like the top what, 6? We're doing the top 6 reasons why, okay, I forgot. We're doing the top 6 reasons why Motor Snorkel is a great fit for your RV. I didn't get excited about this as much as the writer did. All right, number 6, get Motor Snorkel to, where's the slide? Number 6 is impress your friends. Hey, you're supposed to clap for that one. Yeah. So yes, get Motor Snorkel to impress your friends. Am I supposed to pontificate on that? Like why you can impress you? And that is a realism. You can impress your friends. It's amazing how many people, because we like to know where we get orders from. People will call in or send their order in and say, where'd you hear from? It's from a friend. And what happens is they pull out their generator at the campground. They bring over the little 20-pound cylinder. They hook it up, and it's nice and quiet, And they're like, wow, look at that dude over there, man. Then they become friends, Then he tells them, where'd you get that? How'd you do that? And all you did was that? Oh, that's a no-brainer. I can do that. Or my wife, she's better than I am. So there you go. You can make a friend. They actually say 270 friends. But all right, that was number 6. Number 5, drum roll. Why have Motor Snorkel on an RV to Tri-fuel will give you peace of mind. Can use the fuel you have on hand. Now that one's not even funny. You only have one funny one, I guess. Huh? That's it? That's all the humor you have in you. I like to impress your friends. You could add other things on there, you know. It's like, all right, yes. Boy, you didn't leave it up there very long. Tri-fuel, you should leave it up there longer. Put it back way, please. Put it that way. Yeah. Tri-fuel, my motor snorkel. Tri-fuel peace of mind. Can use the fuel you have on hand. So that's again one of the lower reasons. Peace of mind's good, but using the fuel you have on hand, technically you wouldn't want to use your gasoline up, especially in emergency, and you can't get to anywhere to get any more fuel of any type, propane or gasoline. So, but no, it is peace of mind. You can switch back and forth, but it's also good if you need it in different situations. All right, so number 4 reason why Motor Snorkel is great for an RV is gasoline is a pain to transport. Absolutely. Not even a pain, it's absolutely dangerous. I told the story once on here and I'll tell it again. What happened? Oh, you come in. Remember the story about the fireman? Called up, ordered a kit. He spent most of the day riding around to anywhere he could find gasoline, and he got every can he could, and he had his trunk full of gasoline. And he was so proud coming home, my wife's gonna love me. And then he realized, man, I got a bomb in my trunk. And he goes, and I'm a fireman. And he realized when he got home, he had like a 250-gallon propane tank. He says, oh, man. So anyway, gasoline is horrible to transport. We know the Ralph Nader days in the 70s about cars exploding. The gas tank in your car is inside the rails because if it gets hit, it's going to leak. And so, yeah, it's not good to transport. And the thing about gasoline is it's so common that it seems normal. It seems normal that you should haul such a dangerous carcinogen that is horrible for the environment because it's been around so long. It doesn't make it right. All right, number 3 reason why Motor Snorkel is a great fit for your RV. Propane is already built into most RV systems, and that is that's a truism. Most campers have dual 30s up front, 30-pound cylinders, and a lot of units come with a hookup for a grill. Now, we had a gentleman stop in a week or 2 ago with his camper, and he wanted a quick disconnect put on his camper, and he was going to buy quick disconnects and all that, and we were talking to him about his grill hookup, and he said, oh, I'm never going to use that. And they gave me it, and he said the manufacturer gave him a grill extension hose to go from that quick disconnect to a grill if he bought one. Well, come to find out, he could use the parts off of that and just a new hose, and he was ready to go for hooking his generator right into the system he already had. And so we can help you with any of that if you need to know where to tie in, how to tie in. But so far, we've not found where motorhome quick disconnects or camper quick disconnects fit the quick disconnects that we have. I don't know why. They just, we don't, it's kind of like air chuck fittings. They just, so many different varieties, the odds are pretty low. So typically you just add another one. That's the most common thing. Add another quick disconnect somewhere in the system, plug right in, and use the propane you already have. But again, remember, if you use 30-pounders from the front of a camper, and most people who are juiced up about camping, a lot of them are new. They got their new camper. Make sure that the 30-pound cylinders are properly purged. I preach that all the time. Okay. Properly purged. Don't blow away that one. All right, number 2 reason why a Motor Snorkel is a great fit for RVs. Cleaner for the environment. And I always like to say we were green before green was cool. I mean, we've been green for 22 years and longer. So when you're running your generator, especially RVs, and you're in a campground tight, you're tight against people, person, man. And it's sad as you do your generator, and your generator you can, walk right up to and breathe it and everything just about. Not recommending that, of course. And but your neighbor next door, his is blowing all kinds of noxious, so yeah, and it's better for the environment. Absolutely better for the environment. All right, number one reason why Motor Snorkel is a great fit for RVs. And less noxious fumes. Yeah, when it comes to that RV situation, I told the story before probably. I'm bad at telling the same story. Two campers parked side by side for the night. One brought out his propane generator, fired it up. The other guy had his gasoline generator. They both had them set where the exhaust was facing away from them, which everyone does, because the noise, you want the noise to go away from you. Sad to say, the folks in the we just had a technical difficulty. The folks in the camper that had the propane generator, they found them not. They were deceased in the morning. Now it goes all the way up. They were deceased in the morning, and because the gasoline exhaust from the other generator was pointed at their camper, it went in through a window, and the noxious fumes sadly hurt the people. But the people who had the gasoline generator were just fine because the propane generator was aimed in their direction with no noxious fumes, and so they suffered no injury whatsoever. So it is a fact. If you Google, how many people have suffered injury, sickness, or death by running a gasoline generator in their garage. They have their door partly open and they think they're fine, and the noxious fumes come in. It's just a sad, sad thing. And people ask if you can do that on propane. I'm not going to answer that, but I hear about it all the time and never heard of anyone having a demise from that. And before we leave this point about noxious fumes, there is carbon monoxide output from a propane and natural gas generator. Carbon monoxide. Of course, there's more carbon dioxide because of the chemical ratio, but there is carbon monoxide. Now, does that necessarily mean it's dangerous? Well, one thing I've always wanted to do, we have a gas analyzer right here, and I've always wanted to do it and I haven't done it yet. I want to check to see what the ratio is of how many candles it would take to burn and bag the gases to equal the output from, say, a 2,000 or 3,000 watt generator. My guess would be about 4 candles. So how many of us have lit 4 candles to have a nice supper and no one died in the room? So that's how you can have an unvented gas heater in the house and not have any effect. You know what? Give me that. Whoop. Reset. This is my cue card. And I'm going to take it and put it over here because my cue card keeps falling down. So, yeah, I use a cue card. My brain doesn't work like it used to. So, yeah, noxious fumes are very, very low. All right, so let's move on. We have a question. Are we going questions from mail or live?
This is a live question.
Oh, we forgot to say that. Or did you put that on the screen already? Oh, send you a live. Okay. I never look at the screen, so.
This question's from Xboxer, our #1.
Hey, Xboxer, how you doing, buddy? It's good to have you on the show again.
What does the snorkel look like for a V-twin Generac, the GT990? That's a direct.
And no, we did not know you were going to ask that question. We have our assistant. Hey, bring him in here. Sean, come over here. Just say hi, if you can make it over here. Come on. All right. Huh? Go that way. I'm going to take my time. No, go that way. I'll take my time. Here's what it looks like. Isn't that cool? 2 barrels. Isn't that cool? Fits both barrels. And the low clearance, this will fit a Generac, Honda, Kawasaki, right? Yeah, Kawasaki too?
Yep.
All right. So that's what she looks like. Fits right on there. We got it strapped down to make it look like a heart. So when people open it, they go, oh, isn't it cool? It's lovely. But anyway, here you go, Sean. Say hi and goodbye before you leave. He's a great help to the show. See how it's backwards? It drives you in. I know. All right. So Xboxer, hope that answers your question. Any others?
filter and filter base, is what he's saying.
Absolutely. Motor Snorkel only goes between the air filter and the carburetor assembly. It's on the upper airflow side of the carburetor. And that's why it's, we get that, some of our technical calls, people try to remove the carburetor and put the snorkel on, put the carburetor on. That is not what it's about. And that's how this product came to be. It is so revolutionary, so cool. As a matter of fact, in one of our upcoming episodes, we are going to show you a working motor snorkel. And you're gonna say, how are you gonna do that? Just show us the generator? No, we're gonna build you a carburetor that you can see and see the effects of how motor snorkel works. And we hope you'll enjoy that, because it's gonna be a lot of work, but it is a great effect, because it does the Bernoulli system principle of negative pressure and how the fuel flows and why. And if customers understand theory about how it should work, a lot of times they can fix it if there's a reason it doesn't work. Another question, please. Oh, yeah, another.
This question comes from Robbie.
Robbie.
He says, I have a 35 kilowatt diesel generator. Do you make a conversion kit for this?
A conversion kit. See, I'm not going to be a smart aleck here. No, we do not have a conversion kit for that. Diesels, you can do the research. Diesels can be, I guess you call it converted. There's been systems where they drill down through the injector ports and reduce the compression. The problem with diesel, high compression, typically no water jacket, no water cooling system. Some may have it, but by and large it don't. But I know some smaller ones do, and some generators do. But there is no direct way to convert that we know of at this point in all this time to directly convert a diesel engine to propane or natural gas. Now, what most people do, a lot of people do, I always use most, a lot of people do is they'll do fumigation, where they'll induct propane into the intake under load, but not as a primary fuel. It can be used as a secondary fuel, and oddly enough, it increases horsepower. So, sorry, there is no. If you're going to research that on Google converting a diesel garbage truck to natural. I think it was natural gas, and I think that's where you'll hit that link. It's hurting my brain. I'm thinking that was 15 years ago, but it's pretty cool. They went through a lot of work to do it, but I hope that answers your question. All right, we're going on to the mail. Customer mail, is that on here? Let me see, let's make sure. Oh, okay, yeah. I want to come back to that, what kit do I need? All right.
Go ahead.
No, that's all right. What mail? Give me mail. I like mail. I haven't seen the mail, so I don't know what's in the mail. I need about 5 foot of hose, connect to the gas supply. Can you provide me with the part number and diameter needed? Scott, via email. I wonder if they probably already answered this question, but because that would be a real easy one. They would answer the question by asking questions. In other words, if you send us an email, I need about 5 foot of hose, which is cool, to connect to the gas supply. Now, was this an excerpt from a whole email, or is this just the whole email? Do you know?
It's pretty much the gist of the initial question, and then we went on to
I know.
the other.
So the initial question may have said propane, it may have said natural gas, because that's what's left out of here. I'm sorry. It's like, I want to connect my hose to the gas supply. Is it a propane supply? Is it a natural gas supply? Gas supply. Is it a methane gas supply? I don't know. So that's going to, because hoses and fittings are bigger on natural gas than they are propane. But and on natural gas and propane, there can be high and low pressures. Now, years ago, it was really simple. If it was natural gas, it was 8 inches water column, and 6 ounce, no problem, 5 ounce. But now, just like our building is 5 psi. So we run 5 psi through the whole building. Our lines are, I can see one way over there. We ran half-inch tubing, 5 psi on natural gas. We run boilers and water heaters and all kinds of stuff. So they realize that that can be a great way to do it. So I would need to know that answer, but let me just say yes. Can't provide you the part number or the diameter, but we can supply you the hose. So, and there's a song, 1 out of 3 ain't bad. I want you, I need, oh yes. Yes, sir.
This question just came in.
I wish you had something that said this is live or this is, okay.
This question came in live. It says, what is the preset adjustment for, and can it be used instead of the flow bolt, referring to the demand regulator?
Is that on the screen? Because you got something covering it. And what is this over here? Oh, that's a natural gas meter. We need to explain this stuff. People are going, what is that over there? That's a natural gas meter. That is a propane tank. See, it's all backward. That's a propane tank. See? And that is a gas can. Showing how, see how you can do that? I love doing that. It's kind of cool. Like when you do those pictures like you're holding them. Say propane, natural gas, and gasoline. You can run on Motor Snorkel. All right, there you go. I think the audience should see that. If I'm using the, I mean, they can't understand the question either. Can you move it over, please? I know you have the skill. You are good. Just get rid of that thing over there, and you can put it, cover my face, I don't care. You can't move it? All right. Bring it back so I can read it. I have a problem with that. I can't, it's like throwing numbers through space. What's 5 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 2? I mean, it's easy to figure. The question's not there, sir. I'm on both sides. You gotta love live.
What is the preset adjustment? I believe he's referring
Load
to
block?
the zero governor.
Yeah, he's wanting
The calibrator.
Yeah, he's wanting to adjust it instead of the load block.
Oh, you mean the zero governor adjustment? Okay, come out here. You're wanting to adjust that?
He just wants to know what it's for.
Oh, what is it for? Okay. There's a spring under, oh man, I got a cut regulator I could have showed you. I don't know where it's at. I need to get that over here for a demonstration, but let me just show, okay. Under here, and this is all backwards. All right, that cap has a spring under there. Yeah, I'm trying, it's all backwards. All right, that cap has a spring under there, and it is what's called an atmospheric spring. So, oh, cool. Man, Sean's good. Aren't you glad you met Sean? He's cool, man. All right, so look at that. Oh, man, everybody wishes they had one at home. These will be on sale in the lobby for $39.95. Uncut. So anyway, there's the cap that you see. See the spring underneath? That leads to the diaphragm, well, actually a lever. And so when the pressure drops inside, man, it's hard to do this. When the pressure drops inside the chamber, it pulls the diaphragm in. Man, I can't do it. Hold on a second. I should have practiced this. It pulls the diaphragm in. See that? So I should do it with my pen. You can see it better instead of my big fat finger. All right, so let me get it set up again. Everything's backwards. So you start to crank the engine. Blah, 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 blah. The negative pressure causes this diaphragm to collapse because now the pressure in here is lower than the pressure back here behind the diaphragm, see? That's the atmospheric side. That's where the vents are. See the vents? They lead to the back. So that back side is sealed from the front side, all right? So when this spring here provides pressure to push that lever back, and let me get it right. There you go. And see this way I do that. See how the gas valve moves away from the inlet? Oh, that's better. I can see it on my side. See how that little seat moves away from, I started pointing at the screen. The seat moves away from that supplies gas. So gas comes in. So that spring closes off the gas when the engine stops and gives you 100% safety seal. That's why these can be considered a lock-off device, because they seal off when it's not running. And so that's what that spring is for. It is calibrated to match the atmospheric pressure to push back on the diaphragm. And that's what that does. So you should never have to adjust that. you know, jets that are in gasoline carburetors are designed for supposedly from zero, what's it called, sea level. Basically designed from sea level to 7,000 feet. Well, that spring should handle from sea level to 12,000 feet. It should, without any adjustment. So only thing that you should have to worry about is the calibrator, or load block, as it's called. Hope you enjoyed that. I wish I had better practice with that. Back to the mail. All right, let's go back to the mail. Let's see. Question 2. If I am using the snorkel on a generator to power up my camper that already has a 2-stage regulator, okay, do I need to install the low pressure regulator on the generator also? Okay, this would bring up a question, of course, because I am highly questionable character. Let's explain to people. 2-stage means he obviously has a changeover regulator that takes high pressure or tank pressure, and so it actually takes tank pressure, which can be anywhere from say 80 to 120 pounds, drops it to internally typically around 10 pounds, and then to 11 inches water column to feed water heaters, stoves, that kind of thing. All right, so he's running 11 inches. And he already has that to where he's going to install the snorkel. Do I need to install the low pressure regulator on the generator also? Now, if you mean this as the complete one, not this one. If you mean this engine regulator on the generator also, then the answer is absolutely yes. Because as just discussed, you'll have 11 inches coming in here, and it requires the engine to move the diaphragm in order to allow the fuel to flow. So without it, it would just run directly into the carburetor, and that would be no good. Burn up an engine. Now, if you're asking about, a lot of people order our hose accessory with the little silver regulator and the POL. No, you would not need to install that regulator. I don't think we have one back here, but which is like a grill regulator. You would not need to install that one because it would cause trouble, actually. So, all right, bring me back to my old football days. I can catch it. Sacrifice. Can we get rid of that? Why is that still there? What's that tri-fuel thing? And my camera's goofed up again. It's doing that. What do you call it? Transfer switch. And we're going to talk about that transfer switch later, because you can hook a transfer switch up to a portable generator. All right. If you're asking about this one, you would not put that in line. So never put 2 low pressure reducing regulators in line. Now this particular one, because it has the POL and the inherent design, this takes tank pressure, which is 80 to 120 pounds, drops it internally and comes out 11 inches, which is below a half a pound. Now, these are illegal in a lot of situations, because if this ever ruptured, imagine having a camper where you have this hooked to a 100-pound propane cylinder. I shouldn't say it. You have it hooked to a propane cylinder that has 100 pounds of pressure in it. Diaphragm ruptures, and now instead of 11 inches, you have 100 psi running into your camper. With the 2-stage, if the 4 psi side ruptured, the secondary stage would still handle it. Or if the secondary side ruptured, 4 pounds is usually not that critical to cause any trouble, though you would know it right away and have to get out of there. So I actually had that happen once. Hooked one of these up. We used to cheat back in the 70s, 80s. Hooked one of those up to a house, went in to light the furnace, and the flame was like this tall. I was like, wow, look at the flame on this furnace. And my buddy was with me, was lighting the stove pilots, and the pilots were the same height, and lit the burner. It was like, so that's what 100 pounds of pressure looks like on a cook stove. So no, I hope that answered your question. Yes, you have to have the demand regulator. No, do not use the step-down regulator. Okay, thank you, Joe. Appreciate your question. Another one. Can I mount the regulator horizontally? All right, let's get her back out. The answer is no. But people have done it and got away with it. There's a reason you don't do that. You remember the diaphragm and the atmospheric pressure? Well, if you have it mounted like this, it creates a change in the way that pressure reacts to the diaphragm. And it's just not a good practice. We found that when customers call in and have done that, laid them down, it has caused an issue. Now, am I saying don't do it? Well, I'm telling you, the manufacturer says mount it straight up. But if for some reason you decide you want to lay it down and it works, that's great. If you lay it down, it doesn't work, please put it upright before you call us, because we're going to ask you, did you mount the regulator vertically and not horizontally? We've had customers mount them upside down. That's not a good practice either. So please, if at all possible, mount it. I mean, you really need to mount it vertically. The guys who invented this stuff, Garrettson is a great name. They were some sharp guys. I always wish I could have met some of those guys, because there's very few of us who really understand carburation, how it works with small engines, and have patents that that change the industry. And these guys, Garrettson, I have to take my hat off to them, or stethoscope, whatever you want to say. These guys were sharp, and I would like to. They later went on to form a company called OHG, which was Over the Hill Gang, and that was interesting. But again, I would have loved to have met them guys. So, sorry I went off on that one, but no, try to mount it straight up. All right. Do you have any more questions from?
There are no more questions, but we got a lot of new viewers on today, so I thought maybe we could just quickly run through the installation on our way out the door here.
Oh, we're going to bore them to death on their way out the door. All right. I wish we had something less boring. What do you want to tell them? You tell me. I'll tell you.
I thought we could show the installation video here real quick.
Oh, you're going to show the video? Okay. Let's show the video. All right, here we are. We're taking the air filter assembly off, and the one gentleman asked that question about the two barrel, and so this will help you out to see about how the snorkel goes. So you remove the air filter assembly, usually a few screws, bolts, nuts, nothing more than that to hold the air filter assembly on. And so now you can see the carburetor clearly, and that's the face of the carburetor, also known as the air horn. Now the Motor Snorkel is going to slip over the existing studs. All our snorkels match your carburetor. They may not match the footprint exactly. Some customers call and say, "Hey, this Motor Snorkel is round, but mine is oval." It doesn't matter. If it matches the face, doesn't interfere with anything, and we send out thousands, so we usually know they won't. So you slip the Motor Snorkel on there, the tube goes down the throat of the carburetor, past the choke with the choke open. Do not put it through the choke plate. I had a customer this week. The hole was perfect in the choke plate. Are you pausing that? The hole was in the choke plate, matched. Do we have that one here? Yeah, we got that one here. And I'll show you that after the video, so you can move on. So it goes past the choke plate, and then you put the air filter back on. The engine is now prepped for tri-fuel. I mean, you could put a cap on the snorkel inlet and roll that thing out the door, down the street, and tell people, "Hey, anybody want to buy this? It's ready for tri-fuel. All you have to do is add that engine regulator that the one gentleman didn't want to use." So that's all it takes. You add that engine regulator, you're ready to go. All right, so now this is a template we use to match drilling holes into the frame, which, some people like to do it that way. Yeah, that's always a good thing not to do. You can raise the tank, use a short drill bit, but I guess I'd say use common sense, but today it just seems like sense because it's usually uncommon. So, and then there's some fittings you put on. Here's the calibrator, also known as load block. I really believe, I call it a calibrator as a technical term because it calibrates the fuel to the atmosphere and to the horsepower, because that same regulator is used for several different engines. Actually, it's not a regulator, it's a zero governor. So if we'd have called it a zero governor the whole time, we probably had less questions about using a regulator. But do you want me to show the snorkel through the, don't do the snorkel through the choke plate deal? All right, here's it's an amazing, these are one of the most popular carburetors, and you'll see the choke plate right there has a hole in it, and that's because they realized, man, I never can do that. It's backwards, it's hard to do. They realized they were over choking the engines and making them smoke too bad. But for some reason, that seems so intriguing that you would want to put, where am I at? You would want to slide that snorkel, and look at that. It fits perfectly. And I'm telling you, I had a 10-minute discussion with someone who swore it is not a coincidence that that hole matches that snorkel. It is not a coincidence. They would not put that hole there in that exact spot for that. Oh, should I go back? It's got to go past the choke plate. So you have the choke plate. It's got to go past the choke plate, just like that. See? So have the choke open. You put it on there. And I guess I should mention at this point that the choke plate will close, smash up against the snorkel, but it is designed for that, and because it's designed, it'll squish and pop back. I never can show that right. Yep. Squish and pop back. All right. So anyway, yes, that was the answer to that question. Do not put it through that hole. And that's in, we have that in our quick start guide, a picture, because the picture in our regular booklet was a little small, and so people kept asking about it. So we put it in our quick start, and the picture in the quick start is, you know, a large picture. So please read the paperwork. It's good to understand your product when you get it. Let's see, what were we doing? That's it? I'll tell you another question. All right. Well, if there's no more questions from the audience, we're going to sign off. Our CSRs, customer service reps, are standing by. Great individuals to help you answer your questions. Oh, that's what I wanted to go back to, remember? One of the main questions, yeah, this is from me, this isn't mine. I was talking to the folks that answer the phones here. The most common question is, what kit do I need, and do you have one that'll fit my generator? All right. And the answer is, what kit do you need? Well, it depends on the generator and the engine. Do we have one? Yes. Well, how can I say yes if I don't know the generator and the engine? Well, guess what? If you place an order and you put on there that you have a certain brand with this engine, we will match the snorkel for you. You don't have to worry about it. We have a drop-down list on our website that helps, you know, locate the exact kit for you, because almost all of them are the same price. There's a few, the 2 barrels are going to be more, and some of the odd ones are going to be more. And there are a few, there's like a that don't have snorkels at all. We still use adapters because of their inherent design. So if you're going to use the kit checker to go online and check, you can start with I don't know, and you'll end up ordering an MSK. And we will match the correct kit for your generator. If not, we will contact you right away and find out what you have, either by email or phone. So you have to give us your email address or your phone number. If you like to be called, they love to call you. They have no problem with that. Or a people-oriented company, so we're glad to talk to you. As long as it's a 4-cycle gasoline engine, we have a kit for it. We had a kit for a Ryobi 4-cycle weed eater, but we haven't finished R&D'ing that thing. But it's soon to hit the market. But we have done them before, because it was pretty wild. So yeah, order the MSK basic kit, order the accessories with it, If there's any questions, we'll get with you. We'll make sure you get the right kit. It's guaranteed to fit, or you get your money back, so you don't have to worry about that. We're not jerks like
We
that.
can
So.
demo the website
Demo the website.
over the stream.
Oh, cool. He's going to demo the website over the, there we go. There's our website. So he's going to demo, there's our, all right, so find your conversion kit now. So do you want to pick out one? Let's say we're,
Yeah.
all right,
Let's pick at least a generator brand.
let's go with one of the popular ones. Let's do a Yamaha, I guess. It's under Y for Yamaha. There you go. And you go to, the next one is generator model. So let's say that, hey, the 63 is a real, no, well, let's do the 2000. That seems to be one of our biggest selling kits, the EF 2000 suitcase. Engine model, of course, it only has one engine. And what type of kit do I need? Tri-fuel, which is, it does that automatically. That's why there's no option for non-tri-fuel. And so now, that's just a representation of the kit. That is not exactly what yours will look like. And so we please ask you, this is a fail-safe for us, saves a lot of time, aggravation, we don't have to bother you, you don't have to bother us. We ask that you please type in your generator brand, generator model, engine model, and you can write DAAAAAA like duh, because it's the only model that the unit comes with. We don't care what you put in there, but it is an MZ, as he said. And so that really helps us to verify, because if you put in there, EF 2400, then we're going to contact you because there's something wrong, because you might have clicked accidentally. So that's a really good fail-safe. And so that's cool. I'm glad we did that. So yeah, in any case, you can just do I don't know. You may be in a hurry. Say, look, just pick me a kit. Just do I don't know all the way. We'll take care of the rest. Just make sure you give us your engine and generator model number. So as I said, CSR is standing by. There's our 800 number. So please feel free to use that all you wish, and leave voicemail if so. Typically they're available to take your call. And they're also, chat's been nuts past 2 days. They said they are chatting nonstop online with folks down in the Gulf area. So, but we are here to chat with you about what you need, and we will help you out. So again, thank you for joining us here on the Carburation Clinic. Hope we helped you out with some information that was useful, and hope to have you as a customer soon. And again, please like us and share us. That'll help other people to have a nice unit to go camping with, or to back up their home in case of a storm or other emergency. So this is Dr. Hew saying, have a great day. See you next show.